Hello, dosto. Slay the host is back with another video, and in this video, I'll talk about Tottenham Hotspur, how the next season, 2026-27 season, can look like for Tottenham, what are the key signings Tottenham has made so far, and how Roberto De Zerbi is gonna play football at Tottenham. What is the formation he's gonna go for? I'll talk about all these things in this video. So let's get this video started. देखो भाई, अगर तुम टॉटनहम का इस सीजन देखोगे, the transfer business that they have done an overhaul to their entire team. Now let's talk about why did they need an overhaul. Firstly, if you remember, Thomas Frank joined back in June 2025 for Tottenham, and Tottenham had a very diabolical season last time, right? At one hand, they were in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, but at the other hand, they were sitting in the 17th position in the EPL table, which was very contradictory to each other, right? And agar tum dekhoge, in the last season, for a large chunk of the period, be it the defenders, Romero, Van de Ven, be it the attackers, Madison, Kulusevski, Solanke, they were all out injured. And as a result, Tottenham lost a lot of games. Agar tum Thomas Frank ka managerial career at Tottenham dekhoge, he had a win rate of 26.9% throughout all the matches that he played for Tottenham. And Tottenham, after a certain period of time, they are sitting at the 17th position in the EPL table. They are just near or very close to the relegation zone, and that's why the ownership of the Tottenham had to take a decision, and they had to sack Thomas Frank at that point of time. And because कभी भी ये workout नहीं करता, Thomas Frank brings in a defensive brand of football which definitely does not go with the philosophy of Tottenham. Tottenham over the years, be it under Pochettino, be it under Ange Postecoglou, they have always played an attacking brand of football which is totally contradictory to the defensive kind of philosophy that Thomas Frank believes in. He joined Tottenham from Brighton, and Brighton, he used to play a defensive brand of football. He used to go for a back five formation. So these things do not work at Tottenham. These things did not work at Tottenham. So they sacked Thomas Frank and they brought in none other than De Zerbi, and he played in the last 7 matches. He managed Tottenham in the last 7 games in the EPL last season, and he managed to grab 11 points out of those 7 games, which actually kept them at the 17th place, and Tottenham avoided relegation, which Tottenham, a club like Tottenham, who wish to be regarded as the top 6 clubs in the EPL, they should never have been there, right? So with De Zerbi coming in the picture, with De Zerbi joining at the helm of Tottenham, a new era started, right? And if you just look at this year's transfer strategy, that reflects the De Zerbi's vision, De Zerbi's football. So let's talk about the transfers one by one. First, Sandro Tonali from Newcastle, 100 million fees, euro, and that's 26 years old, who is still in his prime. And Sandro Tonali, let me be clear about it. Sandro Tonali is one of the most complete midfielders that you can find in today's world of football. Sandro Tonali can sit ahead of the defense. He can break the passes. He can do the interceptions. He can cut the passing lanes. He can regain the possession back. And then once he has the ball, he can carry the ball progressively, he can carry the ball forward, or he can play a great accurate through ball or a long pass to the attackers, or even he can run through the midfield and provide the ball to the attackers or score a goal here and there. Sandro Tonali is a complete midfielder. He can control the tempo of the midfield, and he can control the tempo of the defense or the entire game. So with the signing of Sandro Tonali, I'm sure that he is going to be the heartbeat of the entire system of Roberto De Zerbi at Tottenham. Now let's talk about the second signing, Matheus Fernandes from West Ham, 85 million. Now Matheus Fernandes gives you a destroyer kind of a profile. He is going to sit ahead of the defensive line for sure. But Matheus Fernandes is very physical. He is a great tackler. He's a great interceptor. He can cut the passing lanes. He can again regain the possession. He's very aggressive as well. Once he does not have the ball, he will praise the ball. He'll cut the passing lanes. He'll regain the possession, and then again he can carry the ball forward as well. At the same time, he is great in passing as well. Because if you just look at last season stats, you will see that he had 87% pass completion rate, and in average 90 minutes he made around 12 forward passes for 10 passes in the final thirds. So he is a creator, at the same time he is a destroyer in defensive sense as well. So you got a very good signing in the form of Matheus Fernandes, and this Matheus Fernandes and Sandro Tonali, they will form the defensive pivot in the heart of Tottenham Hotspur. Now let's talk about the defensive signings that Tottenham Hotspur made in this season. See, obviously you have Christian Romero. He has already left Tottenham. He has joined Atletico Madrid. And also Mickey van der Ven seems to be out as well. He wants to go out. So I think we have the transfer window for 2 more weeks. And I think Mickey van der Ven in some time will leave as well. So to address all the departures, to address all the defensive gaps, Tottenham signed John-Paul van Hecke from Brighton. Van Hecke had a great World Cup 2026 as well, as you have seen him play for Netherlands, and definitely Netherlands had the best defensive line among all the teams that participated in the World Cup 2026. And out of all the defenders that Netherlands had, John-Paul van Hecke was the best one. And if you just look at his last year's stats, for Brighton, or if you just look at the entire top 5 leagues in the world, he ranked at 98th percentile in the progressive carries. Van Hecke is a great centre back, with the ball. He is very technical. He can play the ball. He can pass the ball to the opponent or to the midfielders. He can soak the pressure of the opponent press, and he is definitely a press-resistant centre back. So, under De Zerbi, that's one of the main criteria of the centre backs, right? The centre backs need to be really good with their feet, need to be really good under pressure, need to be calm, composed, and Van Hecke gives you that profile. And to partner him, Tottenham had bought Senesi as well. Senesi from Bournemouth, free transfer. If you look at Senesi's profile at an overall level, he has always been very good, with both his feet. He's very good with the ball. He's very technical, calm, composed centre back who is going to play a pivotal role along with Van Hecke. And if you just look at his last season stats, no other outfield player provide more accurate long balls than Senesi in the entire Premier League. Again, a second stat, he was Senesi among all the defenders, he provided the most through balls in the Premier League out of all the defenders. So you can see how De Zerbi is trying to go, right, with his centre backs. As I already mentioned, centre backs are very important in De Zerbi's system. They are supposed to soak the pressure of the opponents. They are supposed to play through balls. They are supposed to, play intricate passes with the midfield, and then they are supposed to provide through accurate long balls or through passes to the attackers or the wingers. That's how De Zerbi is gonna play. And now they also signed Martin Dubravka as the goalkeeper. So obviously Vicario will be the number one choice, but Martin Dubravka is a good signing. He's a good goalkeeper. And if you look at the potential links to the Tottenham, Cody Gakpo might join Tottenham from Liverpool, which is going to be a great signing if Tottenham manages to sign Cody Gakpo. He's still in his prime, who always plays great during the World Cup 2026, and he and Roberto De Zerbi's system might suit Cody Gakpo as well, because in Roberto De Zerbi's system, the wingers make a lot of runs inside the box, right? The wingers get the ball, they need to run a lot, and they do that. Lastly, let's talk about the main man, Roberto De Zerbi. He's a great modern coach. If I just go by the words of Pep Guardiola, he is one of the most influential managers in the last 20 years, and definitely I think so as well. If you have seen his tenure at Brighton, He has always believed in the philosophy of Johann Cruyff or the philosophy of Pep Guardiola, and the philosophy is rationally occupying the space. You have always seen Roberto De Zerbi has gone for a very rigid 4-2-3-1 formation, where the players are at their position, where players are keeping a certain space between them, be it the midfielders, be it the defensive line, and defenders and midfielders actually stay very close to each other. Why is that? Because the midfielders, the defenders, and the attacking or the fullbacks, they always try to create multiple triangles in the midfield or the back line. Goalkeeper plays a very pivotal role here as well. Goalkeepers create a triangles with the centre backs as well, and by creating multiple triangles, they play very fluid, very dynamic, intricate passes between them. They play one-to-one passes, and all of the players, all of the midfielders, or the attacking, or the fullbacks, or the attackers, or even the centre backs, they always wait for the second or third pass. So this brings a very fluidity in the system of Roberto De Zerbi, and this is how they shock the pressure as well. When the opponent team presses forward, when the opponent team presses the midfield or the defensive line of Tottenham, they will always try to create these triangles, these passing triangles, so that they can just have one-to-one passes, soak the pressure, and once the opponent team loses their concentration for a certain period of time, the defenders or the midfielders of Tottenham will play a through ball, will play an accurate long ball to the attackers, be it the wingers or the striker. And that's how they will play in the upcoming season. Because if you just look at Tottenham's wingers, you have Kudus, you have good winger like Kulusevski, and they are really good running behind the opponent defensive line. And I think they have added enough firepower in the defense, be it Senesi, be it Van Hecke, and be it the midfielders like Tonali. They are great with accurate long balls. So they'll soak the pressure, they'll break the passes of the opposition team, they'll regain the possession, and then they'll play intricate passes between them. And once the pressure is kind of lifted, or the opponent loses concentration for a bit, they will play accurate long balls for the attackers. And this is the philosophy of Roberto De Zerbi. And lastly, I'll just show you this particular quote from Roberto De Zerbi, where he says, when you are building the play, if the rival does not pressure us intensely and waits for us, allowing us space, we can slowly move the ball up the pitch. That's what Roberto De Zerbi does, right? Once opponent does not press, they play very good, they play very calm passes. They just try to move the ball forward. But when the rival presses us with intensity, because obviously all these top six teams in the Premier League, they'll press high. Be it Arsenal, be it Chelsea, be it Manchester City, they press really high. But when the opponent team will press high, when the rival presses us with intensity, it may be the case that we can make some passes, use triangulation or dribble. That's what they do. They wait for the second and third pass. All the Tottenham midfielders or the defenders, they'll place themselves in a certain way so that they can receive the second or third pass. They are positioned very nicely. All the players will be positioned very nicely, and they'll play those intricate passes in between them. And this makes us more vertical. Obviously, as I already mentioned, they just wait for the transition, right? They will soak the pressure, and then they will go on the transition. They'll wait for the counter attack. The fullbacks will make the overlapping runs at that point of time. So that's how they actually play football, and I'm super hyped to see Roberto De Zerbi coaching under Tottenham under Roberto De Zerbi, and I'm really hopeful that they'll surprise us all in the upcoming season. Yeah. So that's the video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back with another video soon. Bye bye.